Hey everybody, it's Merlin here, and I hope this is working. Because I don't know. I guess we'll find out if anybody joins in. Um, let me see here. I'm gonna make sure it actually works on my end if I can hear my voice. Okay, perfect. It works. Okay. Yeah. I decided to do I guess a stream, a live podcast, so to speak. I kind of been wanting to do this one for a couple weeks, but it's just always busy. So yeah, I had like a couple things I wanted to just talk about because I finally was able to catch up on a few little things. But if anybody wants to send in questions or just hang out and watch for a little bit, feel free, and I'll just kind of go down the list until I get more people. But maybe we'll get a few more coming in. We'll see. Let's see. What did I want to start off with? Well, my buddy Troll had actually allowed me to borrow a bunch of comics because he had gotten the first couple volumes for I think it was last year, the Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And I I finally sat down and I actually got through a couple of the Batman ones and the first Superman one. It was Batman, I Am Gotham, and then I Am Suicide, and Superman Path of Doom. Superman was actually pretty good. I think it was my favorite because in this I admit I kind of missed something, I guess, in a previous storyline, but Superman I guess came from another dimension and they thought he was dead. And so he went into another dimension where Clark Kent is not Superman. He's like, what? And then they kind of switched. And in this universe, Lex Luthor is taking over to try to be the new Superman. He's in the good old fashioned green and purple Lex Luthor, uh, old mad scientist suit. And he's like, I am Superman. And I think that that was the most interesting thing about it. And of course, in that storyline, Doomsday came back randomly. But it was pretty well written. I liked the fact that Superman was kind of just trying to, he had a family. He got married to Lois, and I guess they had a child, and so that's this whole storyline that's actually kind of cool. I like it when they move the characters further and they grow as people, and they still manage to try and be superheroes. I think that's a bit more realistic and a bit more creative to write. It's kind of the opposite of what they did with Spider-Man, years and years ago with the whole One More Day thing, just not having enough faith in their readers' loyalty and maturity, and just saying, it's we got people won't read Spider-Man if if he grows up and he gets married and he has to be an adult. Like I guess it'd be less cool, and I could see maybe they'd be afraid that that might affect younger readers. But at the same time, generally speaking, as long as you've got superhero stuff in there, kids like it. I mean, look at the Marvel movies now. A lot of them are pretty adult, but yet kids still love them because the superhero stuff is at least still there enough. But anyway, my favorite thing about Superman Path of Doom was just that Lex Luthor as a hero, I was actually kind of down for. Like I really liked him. I kind of liked Lex Luthor trying to be a good guy because from his perspective, he always hated Superman because he saw him as a threat because he wanted to change things his own way. And I guess because he's got a big ego and he wants to be the hero. And that when Superman came in, he was a threat to that. He's a threat to Lex Luthor's ego. That's kind of the way it's been written for many years. And this one, he tried to replace Superman, kind of showing that he wanted to be that hero. But at the same time, when Superman comes back, he's like, you can't be Superman. But they that the him trying to be a hero was something that I found kind of enjoyable, and it was actually the part that stood out to me. I was like, as great of a villain as he is, I would be okay with him being a version of Superman for a while. That was cool. But I also read Batman, I Am Gotham, and I Am Suicide, and I have to say that my buddy Troll told me that I Am Suicide was like one of the dumbest storylines he'd read in a while, and I finally got around to reading it. But I tried to read I Am Gotham, that collection, but it was just it was so uninteresting to me. It was so uninteresting, and I was like, do I really have to read the rest of this? Is there stuff that's going to happen? And I Am Suicide. He's like, yes, you actually have to read the first one, and so I did. And basically, if you haven't read it, it's kind of a reboot again for Batman, but there's these two new people with superpowers that come in there trying to be superheroes, and they're literally called Gotham and Gotham Girl, and they're basically inspired by Batman and trying to do what he does, but then um, it's their guy and a girl, a brother and sister, and Gotham kind of starts to lose it, go off the handle. It turns out he's being controlled by someone else, the Psycho Pirate, who apparently was an agent for Amanda Waller that went rogue, and Batman kind of takes Gotham Girl into his wing and wants to find out what happened because their minds have just been so shattered by what's been going on with this other villain, and that led into I Am Suicide. But yeah, I Am Gotham. I thought it was a weird move to start off reintroducing yet another kind of reboot of Batman. It doesn't really change that much, and the timelines kind of get a little wonky sometimes. But basically, it's always a couple years into Batman's career whenever they start over. So there's always some wiggle room. But I thought it was weird if this was going to be the reintroduction to Batman that you'd start off with characters that aren't Batman, like they aren't centered around Batman. I thought that was a weird choice. I mean, I applaud them for trying to do something different and bring in new characters, but I didn't find them to be particularly that interesting. But even so, that storyline wasn't that interesting. But the one he told me about that he thought I would hate because he didn't like it very much was I Am Suicide. And I Am Suicide. He said it was really dumb. I thought it was just like really mediocre. And the worst part about it was, okay, basically, Psycho Pirate has been working with Bane, and Bane's recruited him to be on his side and kind of mess with Batman and Co. from afar. And Amanda Waller is like, hey, basically, Batman has to form his own Suicide Squad uh, to go into Bane's island and try to take Psycho Pirate away so that he can use him to fix everybody who's been mentally affected. But of course, that means they have to break in. He's got to fight Bane again, and he's got to do it with a ragtag crew. Now, I guess they're trying to promote some side characters because there was Batman, there was Catwoman, there was the ventriloquist, who originally usually has the Scarface dummy, but this time he didn't. And also, I guess Bronze Tiger, and these characters Punch and Judy, who were like Joker fanboy-esque couple. They were I don't know much about them, to be honest. They're kind of obscure characters, if anything. But that was his team, and uh, the basic concept of the story I don't mind. It's kind of the classic, break into prison, kind of like Suicide Squad or the animated movie essentially. But instead of Arkham Asylum, it's going to Bane's Island. But they okay, reading it initially, you're like, okay, the worst thing about it, I think, was it was trying so hard to drive home this whole message of Batman having to overcome his own issues and the fact that he's on a path of self-destruction. Now, I don't mind when the comics acknowledge this because it's something to joke about. Batman is a grown man who is dressing up like a bat and going around beating people up. He clearly has issues that he is working through in his own way that might not be the most healthy. Now, taking it aside from the whole superhero mythos, of course, but we push that aside. If it's going to do that, it has to do that in a kind of detailed way, but it's just Batman in this storyline was just kind of talking in this monologue, which just seems so adolescent, and it's just like he's like, I am moving forward, I am the bat, and I am moving towards suicide. And it's not subtle. It just sounds like something that some really bad rock and roll lyrics. Like it's really like it's cheesy. I mean, I was like, oh, like this is painful. Like it seems like a parody of Batman, and I'm like, that I didn't like so much. Even though I liked the idea they were going for, I thought that stuff was a bit much. And the thing is, the going along with the adolescent idea, Batman has this relationship with Catwoman, obviously, and I don't know. I guess they've done it sometimes in previous comics, but they refer to themselves with these monikers. There's like she calls him Bat, and to him she's Cat, and it's just that's painful because it doesn't seem like to adults. And what's worse, Catwoman is gonna go through this mission so that she can be pardoned and have her sentence lessened because she apparently went on a homicidal rampage and killed like over 100 people. And for anybody that knows anything about Catwoman, probably Catwoman is a thief. She's a cat burglar. Obviously, she's on the wrong side of the law sometimes. She's in the gray. She's not always the best person, but she's never been that evil. And she certainly has never been homicidal. And I'm like, okay, that could be one interpretation of the character, but throughout most of the comic, you're like, this just doesn't seem right. That seems something's off about how they're treating Catwoman. So that kind of bugged me. And they do acknowledge that a bit later, sort of. So it's not quite as bad, but their interplay, like I liked their chemistry, but the dialogue between them, some of it was kind of rough. As far as the side characters go, I mean, I liked the ventriloquist, like how they used him, his with his whole mental issue to kind of get past the psychopirate is probably one of my favorite things. Like that strategically made sense. The other characters, like Bronze Tiger, I didn't know why he was there. The other two were just kind of comic relief. Like I thought Batman, Catwoman, and Wesker, that's the ventriloquist, they served the most function. The other people were just kind of there for extra muscle, kind of, but I think it was debatable how much they were really necessary to be there. The only other thing I didn't really like about it is that seemed kind of adolescent and really on the nose was so many times in the comic, Batman's like, I will break you. I will break Bane. I will break your damn back. Like they repeat that over and over again. Like it makes Batman sound like a dumb brute. Like he's insecure about the fact that Bane broke his back. Like, okay, we get it. Yes, Bane broke your back. That's literally his one thing. Bane has never been as cool since then. I mean, I'll be honest. I like the Bane character. I think he's an interesting character. I do. I like the fact that he is intelligent as well as being really, really strong physically. And he used strategy to beat Batman originally. And I do like it when he is interwoven sometimes. And there is always like this uneasiness. Like Batman's like, yeah, he was the guy that did defeat me hand to hand combat. And I'm always a little wary of him. But Bane's never really been able to do that again. I don't think he's ever been quite as much of a threat. But this one, Bane is overconfident and he got off the Venom. And yeah, Batman's just like, this is like symbolically what I have to do, as if he never had a chance to recover. Maybe in this storyline, he hadn't actually gotten to face Bane again because this is kind of a reboot, but I still thought that I'm so used to thinking of Batman having met Bane time and time again, and they face each other, and it's been like, I don't know if he's really often beaten Bane one on one since then, but it's always been like at least a tie. Like he's never really kicked Bane's ass, so to speak, as far as I can remember, but it's not that common. Not that often, but in this one, admittedly, he is not using the venom, but Bane's a pretty tough guy. And spoilers, if you do read the comment, little spoilers here. Well, they take him down by Catwoman swinging down because there's a couple betrayals where people think they're betraying each other left and right, and she swings down and just slams into his back, and I guess damages his back. Of course, like right. Of course, that's what they're gonna do, and he goes down, and I just remembered thinking, like, even without the venom, I have to think that a kick from Catwoman, maybe with enough force, I don't. It just seemed like the whole buildup seemed kind of anticlimactic. But yeah, that was I Am Suicide, which I didn't think was that bad. I mean, I think the comics are really well drawn, and I like some of the character interactions. I do, and I like some of the themes they're exploring. But the actual story was very simplistic and kind of silly in terms of its thematic approach to, and just kind of, like I said, sort of adolescent almost. But anyway, I've been talking nonstop. I haven't even looked at the questions, so thank you. I got on a bit of a swing there, so I'm going to go through a couple more topics. But if you send in questions or anything, let me know. Oh wow, okay. Got a couple people with me today. Thank you for joining me on this wonderful Sunday. It's Pennsylvania here. I don't know where you are, but this is beautiful outside. I had a little light, so I just got something to eat. And I'm like, you know what? I'll have a little bit of free time, so I'll do a little live stream. And if anybody wants to hang out, cool. Adam Kinano, Merlin the Mighty, love your channel. Thanks, man. You know what? And it's because of viewers like you that watch me that I keep doing it. I like that people like my content. Appreciate it. How do I watch all your analysis videos on a site? Okay. All right. Adam, thank you for answering this question. All right. Okay. For anybody that's been having problems going to my site and watching my old analysis videos that I haven't put up on the channel. Okay. Well, I'll admit I was kind of going through a little bit of a thing where I was getting a little frustrated with things. And to be honest, the site space was kind of expensive to hold, and I was like, I honestly didn't know how many people were going to watch it. Like some people I know were, but I was like, I don't know if it's really worth it. So I kind of downgraded my I don't know, membership in the site that I was using. So I don't think it plays the videos at the moment. So if there are some anime character analysis videos that you're trying to watch on there, I think I might have to update the old URLs. Some of the videos are up. I accidentally took a couple down. I think I have to go. I might have to upgrade at some point, or I might just have to go back and redo some videos and put them on here. The main reason why I put the videos on the site was because I was trying to avoid copyright issues. But to be honest with you, I just wasn't editing my videos enough. So what I'm probably going to do is I might do some more analysis videos, maybe some old ones. If I can't get them up on the site, I might just put more up here, maybe use some more pictures instead of video. But I do apologize for that. I know some people have been saying every once in a while, like, hey, I'm trying to watch this video, but I can't get to it. Like, sorry about that. It's probably just because the site's not allowing you to watch that right now. But you can check out the ones that I do have a bunch on here. Feel free to request other types of videos for characters or videos on different series you'd like me to do. And maybe I'll just put some new ones up for you. Because some of those old videos I want to redo anyway because they're kind of short and they might be a bit sloppy. Like some of my oldest character analysis videos, like my old Dragon Ball ones, like they're rough, man. They're rough. So I might go back and do them sometime. But thank you for checking out my stuff anyway, and feel free to request new things. I'll probably just put more stuff up on here, and I'll probably use the site mostly for like uh, for articles and just word essays, things like that. Word essay instead of video essay. You can differentiate now. Hmm. But thank you. Have I seen Fraggle Rock? Pac-Man fan 00001. So many zeros, and he is okay. Oh crap, they're coming in now. Have you seen Fraggle Rock? You can tell that I'm having a brain fart here because I know what Fraggle Rock is. I'm like, what the heck is Fraggle Rock? I know. I feel like I've seen it. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. I have seen Fraggle Rock when I was when I was a wee man, when I was little. Yeah, Fraggle. Is that the one, the Jim Henson one, where they're like little creatures where they like live under the door or something? I remember watching one episode of that when I was like 5 or 6 and getting really scared for some reason. Like I think they captured one of them, and I was like, "Oh!" Like I know that's a popular show. I like some of Jim Henson's stuff, but yeah, I've have seen it. Crazy Boy 190. Thank you for joining me as well. Do I play the piano? I think he's referring to the keyboard back there. My girlfriend is more the musician than I am. She's got the guitars and stuff. I'm kind of an amateur musician. I want to make more music. I've been working on trying to pump some more stuff out. Uh, I've got a lot of like electronic stuff. I've been using this Soundtrap app thing. It's kind of fun. So I've been trying to do like some industrial electronic stuff because I like making music. I've been really wanting to do more stuff with music and my writing and obviously the films that I do sometimes up here. So I'm trying to pump out a lot of things. But short answer, I play the piano, but I am not very good at it. I hit a couple keys and like, I want to do everything, and that's my problem. I'm so scatterbrained. I'm like, I never feel like I have the time. But yeah, sometimes I play the piano. Wow, I probably could have summed that up in a short phrase, couldn't I? I'm sorry. You like the current Batman run? Yeah, Adam. I was just talking about that. I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, I read the first couple uh volumes, and like I did kind of like them. Uh, but yeah, but I had issues with the second Batman one, but it's not bad. I actually like the Superman one, and I'm starting to read Wonder Woman. I like them a little bit better at the moment. But yeah, I guess I think the current Batman run's okay. Have I seen Ruby? I only saw like the first episode of Ruby season one. I thought that it was kind of like the animation was a bit off for me. Like the CGI three-dimensional one's always kind of bit iffy for me to get through. But I watched a little bit of it. I thought it was cool. I learned that it was a funded thing by I guess an independent guy. He pitched the story and he made it. And I've heard they get a lot better. It's one of those things where I want to watch Ruby, but it's just time, man, time. Like, uh, I was interested in it, but like I've had a lot of other. I'm gonna talk about them later. But I finally got to watch some stuff that I've been wanting to watch for a while. But Ruby, I've seen a teeny bit of it. I've heard it's good. I remember when Peter Parker had great characterization over the years until Casita said no. He's referring to one word. Yep. Have I played Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator? I have never played any Five Nights at Freddy's. And though, okay, that's not 100% true. We do D&D with my friends, and we played. We do themed games, and the horror game we did one for this past like February was actually in based around the first game in Freddy Fazbear's pizza place, whatever it is. And yeah, that was kind of scary. I lived longer in that than I did, but I've never actually sat down and played the game. Though I sometimes get fans on here that are like, "Hey, you should do the Five Nights at Freddy's analysis videos and talk about how Alphonse Elric is a character in like I don't know if they're trolling or if they're serious." And I'm like, this is a weird question. I don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's really, but cool. No, but I have not played the simulator. Is it like an app or something? Thanks for answering. No problem, man. Copyright is annoying. I watched all your old site before the devil took them away. I wanted to see your Dom Flamingo and Broly analysis. My Dom Flamingo one, yeah, that was actually I liked that one. I thought that I uploaded that on the channel. I might have to go back and just I want to go back and make it so you can access them, but yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, the Broly one's up on the channel. But the thing is, I had like old copyright. I guess they used music in the intro, and now they turned off the whole audio for the video. But look, I'll give you my Broly analysis right now. He's he's barely a character. I don't know, man. I liked Broly's backstory. I like the fact that he obviously had some mental trauma, and even though it is kind of silly, the fact that he hates Goku and retained that hatred because of the crying, I think that the concept of his story is interesting, and he really and I think that he really I like Paragus. I think Paragus is the more interesting of the two, to be honest. But uh, I don't know if I could do a Broly analysis again. I remember when I did that before, people were like, "Really? What's there to analyze?" And I'm like, "Not much." I will admit I was kind of grasping for things, but it was a fun video to make. That was years ago. That's an old one. Pac-Man's like, "Yeah." Chad Peterson asks, "Is God real?" I mean that's a deep question. Oh, oh man. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I like to think in some sense, yes, maybe not in the traditional sense, perhaps, but I'm open. My mind is always open to possibilities. I don't know. I think everyone has a really restricted view. If they're really hardcore into some kind of religious dogma, they can get. I think it's a little bit of I think it's a little bit presumptuous to say that we know for sure. But if you have faith in something you feel deep down, maybe. Well, I think it's possible. I honestly can't say that I know, Chad, but I don't know. In some sense, maybe. Blame Boy 39. My name is Garfield, and I love lasagna. But your name is Blame Boy 39. But if this is Garfield, that is pretty cool because Garfield comics were great. I love his voice. He's just so chill, like a very good cat. Adam, this might hurt you. Have you seen the live action FA movie? Adam, I thought you were subscribed to my channel. What's if you go to my what like this is just goes to show, and I haven't made any announcements about this. I didn't know until I talked to Vaughn the Stampede a little while ago that YouTube took away the bell thing. I mean, or not the bell thing. See, I thought that when you were subscribed to a channel that you would get notifications that they put up a video because you're subscribed to them. But now you have to click the little bell thing next to the subscribe button. So, guys, if you want to see my videos and you want to see updates on my videos, please click the bell thing because apparently YouTube doesn't, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. My point is, to answer your question, I have seen the live action FMA movie. If you want to get my, I want to get more details on my thoughts on it, you can check out the video. But short version, I saw it on Netflix. I was like, I have to do this, and I thought it looked cool. I thought it looked really cool, honestly. I liked the costumes. I liked the sets. I thought there were some. I liked the visuals. I thought they did a good job of trying to recreate certain aspects of it, for sure. But No, I'm just messing with you, man. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, Q&A, Blaze, Anime Blaze, man. How you doing? Been a while, dude. But yeah, man, I'm just kidding. I'm not that mad. But this is what I'm talking about. Like people don't know. Yeah, but you don't have to watch the video if you don't want to. Well, yes, please watch the video, I guess. But short answer, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I thought that the effects weren't that great. I thought they rushed through too many things. They skipped through some like major moments. Some characters weren't there, like Scar. Scar wasn't even in the movie. Scar wasn't in the movie. Freaking Armstrong wasn't in the movie. And the effect for Gluttony, I was just, oh man. SSJ Titan, what's up, man? Oh man, like God, that pissed me off so much. Uh I don't want to be hard on it because I know that I guess Japanese studios don't have big enough budgets for it or something. Uh, but the point is, it was okay. It was okay, man. It was okay. But yeah, for people just dropping in, it's a Q&A. I was just kind of, I didn't expect this many people to be watching, but like I just had some free time and I was gonna go catch up through some things. So I'm gonna keep reading off this list so I know again about. Oh man, he's sending you 200 questions. Among all DBZ characters, who would you dress up as? You know, all right, man. That's kind of a cheat for me because I am fully of the belief that I can. I think it's really hard to pull off a lot of anime characters, and Dragon Ball is one of the hardest because it's so cartoony and everything looks so uh, just really exaggerated. Like, who could really pull off Vegeta with that massive forehead with the widow's peak and the hair sticking straight up and so thick? Like, you'd have to put so much gel. Like, there's no way to do it without a wig, and it almost always looks fake. I mean, you have to go for the more realistic characters. I think I always kind of wanted to just dress up either in the gi for one of the characters. I kind of wanted to pull off Piccolo, but I don't know if I'm tall enough or skinny enough to do that. But I always wanted to dress up as one of Frieza's like special forces, one of his soldiers. I love their outfits with the big armor and the pads and the scouter and the really uncomfortable like blue tights. I always wanted to go dressed up as that, maybe like an unofficial Ginyu Force member or something, because I could just be a random soldier guy, and they look like everything. They could be aliens, they could be dudes. Can you upload the character analysis videos from your website to YouTube? Nicholas, thank you for watching. That's part of the problem is that I haven't had the money to upgrade it so that I can even access my videos. And that was one of the things that kind of irritated me because I was just gonna like, oh, I was gonna rechange the setting on a couple of the pages, but then they're saying they won't let me re-upload them. So even I don't have access to them. So I have to like pay to do that. And it's just like I'm working on trying to like get maybe a raise or promotion or something, so maybe I can afford to put more money for that. But it's just like, right. It was like I was telling Adam earlier. I might just, if I know, Nicholas, you're always requesting analysis videos, and feel free to send more. I might just have to start doing more up on my channel again because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get up on the site. I might just have to use slides and stuff, but we'll see. But yeah, I am sorry about that inconvenience. Hey Merlin, have you seen that new Godzilla anime? Thoughts on it? Oh yeah, this was another video that I did a little while ago. I did see the Godzilla anime, and I didn't hate it. Actually, I didn't. It's really weird because I don't like with Berserk. I don't really like the 3D anime when it's not done well. But I actually thought that it looked decent. I thought that the story was interesting, like kind of the far off space opera that Godzilla just happens to be the key motivating factor. Um, but it wasn't really a Godzilla movie, and I think that's the weird thing is that I liked it, but modern Godzilla movies don't want to show Godzilla. I mean, the 2014 American one didn't really. Shin Godzilla, you saw a lot more of him, but he was like inactive for a good chunk of it, and it was more about the politics of what the humans are dealing with. And I actually liked it a lot in Shin Godzilla. This new one, it was kind of more along those lines, except it was far off in the future. I really liked the fact that they all just said, "Hey, what the hell? We don't have a choice. We're gonna go head on into Godzilla, and we're gonna attack him with like hundreds of motorbikes." And I'm just like, they're so gonna die. I think Godzilla looked a bit off. Like, I wonder if there's a way to make his skin look a bit rougher and Maybe I feel like in 2D animation they would have been able to get more detail and more definition. He just looked kind of glossy, like this big crystallus blob thing. But looked like when he looked really powerful. He looked like he caused a lot of devastation. But yeah, man, I put up a little review about it. I thought it was all right. I thought it was interesting. Uh, I liked the story, but it was barely a Godzilla movie. It reminded me something more like Mass Effect, more than anything. Uh, I got you, man. I didn't even get a heart attack from it like I did with DBZ Evolution. Oh, oh yeah. No, no. FMA live action was better than Evolution. I don't think I think it was better than Death Note, the American one. Oh man. Evolution's kind of awesomely bad though. Like it's kind of enjoyable. Uh you ever use the app or website Rabbit? It's pretty cool for watching vids with viewers. No. No, I haven't, man. Uh yeah, I've never even heard of that. That's cool. Thanks for the Broly analysis. When I first saw it on the channel, I was like, this analysis would be phenomenal if I could hear it. I almost thought I was going deaf. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you have a channel and you've got all these old videos, and sometimes I look through them and I'm like, man, oh yeah, they did mute that. I don't even know why I have the Broly video up. I'm like, I probably should take it down. I mean, I'm happy they decided to keep it up, and that's actually one of the things I've noticed is that Funimation's actually one of those companies that seems to be kind of okay with copyright using their footage if you use it properly. But I guess whatever music I was using back then, that didn't work. Um, would you make a new analysis on Griffith since you weren't able to upload the version from the site? Yeah, I probably could do that again. I think I've kind of been in like this sort of weird creative space, and I'll tell you guys if you don't know, like I haven't been able to watch as much anime lately, and I'm kind of like sort of like I want to go back and redo some of these videos, but I'm trying to find the motivation and the time to do it. Berserk is one of those anime where I really want to go deeper. Like I think I probably could have put more detail into the videos, but unlike something like more in the shonen route that's ongoing, like Dragon Ball or Fullmetal Alchemist or a lot of those other shows, Berserk, there's a lot of time between chapters, and I feel like in the years and years that it's been going on, it not a whole lot has really progressed until I think fairly recently, and I don't know if there's too much more that I could say better than I've said already, or that someone else hasn't said better. Like there are really good channels out there that have delved into it. I might do more. If you want another Griffith one, I could probably talk about him again. It's been a while. I know you like Trigun stuff too. You want me to talk about those guys? I've actually been thinking about doing character analysis videos, but more about the villains, because there's a lot of old villains like from a bunch of older anime that I used to watch, and also like Hunter x Hunter that I didn't really tackle too much. But yeah, I might do another Griffith one. At this point, they'll have to send the Power Rangers to fight him or create Sandman. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Which Rangers though? That's the question. DSR anime, welcome. Live action would work better if they adapt more realistic anime series. Yeah, but I thought that Fullmetal Alchemist would have been one that would have worked because, with the exception of the alchemy, it's kind of more grounded in a human environment. So I don't know. I thought that would have worked better for that. Yeah, at this point, I have to set up powers to fight Godzilla or Hercule or Hercules. Even though I don't favor live anime adaptations, I do think Black Lagoon would be fun for live adaptation in the West. Yeah, I mean that's a good example. Black Lagoon is pretty much just a crime series. So really, if you just have good acting, good effects for some explosions and gunplay, that'll be it. But yeah, yeah, that's it. You could send in more questions if you want. I'm gonna get out some of these freaking topics I want to talk about. But yeah, that was the Batman stuff. Let me see. I very briefly. I don't know if you guys know I'm a big Star Trek fan. But I didn't want to pay for CBS All Access, so a friend of mine allowed me to watch the first couple episodes of Discovery, and I don't really short version. I just don't know why they would use a 2 episode storyline which doesn't even have the ship Discovery in it or the crew that you're going to follow, and the main character just seems so unlikable. She like starts a war. I mean, I'm not going to nitpick about what the Klingons look like or anything, but uh, the fact that they had a character who was she's a human, but she's raised on Vulcan by Sarek, and she's like the first person to get into the academy, and yet Spock's a big deal later. Like, yeah. Anyway, there were just a lot of inconsistencies. I thought the quality wasn't that great, but I heard Star Trek Discovery gets better, but I am in no rush to watch it. That's Star Trek. X Files. I've actually been watching the new season, and I'm pretty caught up with it. It's like the only show right now where I'm actually like caught up. So woo, and I actually like it better than the last season. I think that some of the mythology episodes aren't quite they're not as bad or as rushed as the last one. They're trying to flesh it out, but I think some of the best episodes are the ones that are they're kind of related to the main storyline, but the one where the one guy's consciousness is trapped in this virtual world, and the government or these companies, corporations in power tricked him into doing that, and they stole all the great minds that are using them to create technology, and they got to go and break in and save him. And there was one about the what happened with Skinner and this weird like hallucination that causes people to see these monsters, that was pretty good. And the one about like technology taking over and everything was automated and everything that one was, and there was almost no dialogue. It was really creepy. It was very on the nose, obviously, but it was unique. So I've mostly been liking the X Files. Jessica Jones dropped this weekend, I believe. I watched the first episode of the new season, and I like the fact they used the Wizard. He was a fun, obscure character. Jessica Jones seems a bit lighter this time around, so that should be good. Caught up on a couple Oscar movies. Lady Bird was good. Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri was really good. I finally saw Baby Driver, really fun movie. I saw that a Dune might actually get this new movie that's coming out, as well as some possible sequels. So that would be cool. I'm really worried that Dune has always kind of been hard to market, but since they're using a director who's had a lot of success with sci-fi, I think they might be able to capture the scope of Dune and maybe make it a little more accessible. I know that's hard to do. I mean, I love Dune. I think the story's really cool. The world's cool. I like the David Lynch movie. It's really weird. I even like the sci-fi originals. It's kind of like Star Trek. I like almost everything associated with it. But maybe there's some nostalgia there. But I think I'd like to see them do more Dune movies. But I'm really afraid that they don't market it properly and they don't hit the right beats. It's just gonna bomb, and we're just gonna get one more movie. So that is leaves us hanging. So I hope there's more Dune movies, but I'll even settle for another good one. But that's all the new stuff I want to get out of the way. So if there's any more questions, uh, let's see. You should try more to analyze Crow Lucifer. He's actually a lot more down on the surface. Yeah, Crollo was an interesting villain. I always thought he was kind of cheap with his book. It's a literal book that just here are all the oh man, it's been so long since I watched Hunter x Hunter, but yeah, Crollo, I like the fact that he was willing to kind of like sacrifice himself in a sense to preserve the spiders. I thought that was kind of cool. Like that's one of the things I really liked about Tagashi's work was that his villains are some of the best. In Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, there's just so much dynamic there that you didn't get in a shonen. And I like the fact that the characters, they're never 100% right or wrong. There's always an element of gray there. And I also really liked how in both series, he doesn't really follow the typical structure of a shonen anime where you have, oh, you've got your henchmen and the side characters to kind of support the main character, and then there's a one-off with the big bad that doesn't work, and then they got to go train and fight again. Like in this one, I mean, you had Hisoka, for instance. There was that big fight with Gon, and that's probably one of the best fights in shonen, but not because of the action, obviously. I mean, from a story perspective, the fact that Gon stands up for himself and he loses, and in a sense, he still wins. I think that's actually just another level of writing that you don't typically get to see. And you have a main villain that's a continuing threat that kind of has a weird relationship to help the character grow. And I like the fact that Gon and his friends, they are the main protagonists but they are not the most powerful people. They don't always win. They're not always in the limelight, but they're still growing as characters. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked Hunter x Hunter when I came across it years ago. And Hakusho follows a bit more of the standard structure, obviously, but it still has really dynamic characters for a shonen, I think. And I think that's one of the great aspects of his writing. Which FMA series did you feel handled Soft J. Kimley better? Ooh, ooh, that's a good question. You know, Kimbley's one of those characters I feel like he's a fan favorite, but people don't talk about him outwardly that much. I hmm, that's one of those rare instances where I feel like he was done well in both versions of the show. I he was he was really evil in the first series, in the 2003 one. He was definitely like Scar's arch enemy in that one. But he was also I felt like he was well executed. I think he was a good representation of the destruction of the military and the effects on Ishval. And just I think he was a good representation of that. I liked how I just love how FMA has all these different characters with their own different plot lines going on and interrelating. But the thing about him Brotherhood is he was a bigger part of the story. And that's one of the interesting things about Brotherhood, and I guess the manga, is that some characters actually did get to have more time in the limelight. And you get to see him do more. And I don't know. I think if you're a fan of Kimbley in the first one and you see Brotherhood next, you're gonna love it. I don't know. I think he was pretty good in both. Honestly, it's a tough question. Who would you have? Would you get to write a new Star Trek series? Also, would you have seen the one with Mick Vigana? You know, I'm glad you brought this up because one of the interesting things about Vic Vigana is that from something there. He's best known, obviously, for Edward Elric and Broly. But next to that, I think what he's best known for is he does his own fan-based Star Trek series, which kind of the continue on the original series adventures. And I'll be honest with you, I think fans should be allowed, because Star Trek fans are just follow this stuff so devotedly. I think his team should be allowed to have some production in a new series, because I would like them to go back and go beyond and follow the same storyline, because Star Trek Beyond, that was unintentional. Instead of doing another prequel show, I actually think Vigano would be good for production or writing, at least because he really some of the fan stuff from what I've heard is actually really good that he's done. So yeah, I think he would be definitely a good proponent of that. Actually, the episode of Black Mirror, last season premiere did a really good job of recreating the original series as well, of course, with a dark turn. So there you go. Would you watch a Monster Netflix series or HBO Watchmen? Please don't spoil Monster for me. I'm on 65. Oh, okay. Well, then I have some videos that I'd like you to watch when you're done. Um, the answer to both questions is yes. I think Monster is one of those examples of a show that could be adapted into live action, but I think it should be done by a studio that's willing to go down that dark type of storytelling, obviously dealing with serial killers and that kind of subject matter. Also, very grounded in reality, very much so, but not too heavy on special effects, really. I think HBO or Netflix or maybe even AMC might be able to do a good job with that. Watchmen, I honestly like the movie. I think the movie did a really good job of fleshing it out. I don't think we really need to get a full show, but maybe a prequel following Rorschach or something would be pretty cool. Yu Yu Hakusho or Kenshin, like which one's better? They're both pretty good. They're both definitely ones that come up with comparison and Trigun too. I think I personally prefer Hakusho a little more just because I like the characters and the world a bit more. But I like the fact that Kenshin is a bit more grounded in history and events that actually happen. And I will say that Samurai X, the OVA, if any of you haven't checked that out, that is still one of the best anime I've ever seen. It's just beautiful. Very sad, the prequel to Kenshin. So I think Hakusho wins in terms of those anime, but I think that there is some of the nuggets of really some of the best stuff ever in Kenshin. But I guess Hakusho generally, if you're making me pick. Still waiting on live action for Monster. A few years ago, Del Toro tried to work with HBO, but never happened. Yeah. Still have to say Shape of Water, but Del Toro usually deals with supernatural elements, and there's kind of an element of supernatural and monster that's kind of more implied. It's metaphorical, I guess, but just he's handled a lot of serious drama too without that, so that's good. Would you like to see the Happy Time Murders? Is man, I'm gonna cheat here. Okay, let me see if I remember. Happy Time Murders, Happy Time Murders. Oh, I don't know about this. Upcoming American neo-noir puppet comedy thriller from Brian Henson. Oh, heck yeah. I'll see that. That's cool. A puppet noir mystery. That's awesome. I love that stuff, man. Absolutely. That'd be cool. Favorite homunculus. Mine's greed. Loved how he embodied his sin with his own individuality and semi-development. I love how selfish the dude died for others before himself. Yes, I agree. My favorite homunculus. Oh, that's a tough question. Oh, that's really rough. That's hard. That's actually really hard, man, because I love. Hmm. Okay. Oof, that's hard. That's really hard. I love Lust in the first series. I think she's a great character. Envy in the first anime was like one of the greatest villains that I've seen. I thought as an arch enemy for Edward, great. Greed's up there. I like Greed, but I just feel like he's a great character. But in terms of like the villainous side, and I like Gluttony too. I actually think if Wrath from Brotherhood was really good, obviously, and I think Pride from Brotherhood was really good too. I think Bradley, particularly in Brotherhood, Wrath, like there was a moment where he's sitting down with the Elric brothers and he's just kind of casually threatening them by bringing up how important family is and just how he's able to put on that facade like he does care about them, and he just hates humanity so much. And he's also just this ridiculously awesome sword fighter. Like, damn, like Bradley's intimidating. Like with his eye, I mean, I think Bradley might be my favorite in Brotherhood. In the first series, though, it's probably Envy or maybe Lust. Like, it's hard. That's the thing. Problem is they're so great. My favorite Sesame Street Muppet. I was gonna cheat and say Kermit the Frog, but yeah, that's Muppets, isn't it? My favorite Sesame Street puppet. Probably Grover. Grover, I'd say. Yeah, I like Grover. Grover's pretty cool. What fictional character would you want and wouldn't want to be killed by? I wouldn't want to be killed by Hisoka. I don't want to be killed by anybody, dude. Fictional character who I really wouldn't be killed by. Probably somebody like the Joker or Hannibal Lecter, or there's probably a handful of, like, I don't want to be killed by Cell. Like, I don't want to be like killed by I don't want to be killed by Imperfect Cell, because dude injects you with his tail and then sucks you up from the inside out. I mean, I'd imagine you'd be dead pretty. And then he absorbs your soul. Ugh. Oh yeah, that's my answer. Ugh. Oh yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, I went over all the little news items I wanted, and you guys have sent in questions. Um, so we've actually been going. Wow. It's got to be an hour shortly. Um, any other final questions, or do you guys want to call it? Because I could probably wind down now. Would I rather play Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle or a video game based on a crappy emoji? I don't know if I'd really go for either, but I'm gonna say Mario over anything around the Emoji Movie. I didn't even want to see the movie. Like, I wouldn't want to go for a game. Uh, all right, guys. Well, thank you all for dropping by. If you send in any questions afterwards that you can, please feel free to send in requests for videos. I'm trying to work on stuff when I can. If you want any analysis requests or anything. But yeah, just remember, like, share, spread the video around, and definitely definitely hit that like button and hit the little bell if you want subscriptions and notifications about the other videos. But I guess that'll be it for now. Oh, Kimberly, man. Kimberly over Bomber from Hunter x Hunter? Don't get me started. All right, guys. Well, you have a good day, okay? Thanks everybody for joining and stay magical. And I guess that's the Merlin Cast Live.